question of what Paul looked like is a fascinating question because there's this place in 2 Corinthians chapter 10 where Paul's opponents say that his presence is unimpressive. If a person received 39 strokes from fellow Jews on 5 occasions and was beaten with rods 3 times and bore on his body, as he says in Galatians 6, the brand marks of Christ, this is a person who's not going to look especially good. When you throw in stoning here and there for good measure, night and day in a deep, going through the kinds of rigors that were Paul's as a result of his missionary travels. Here is a person whose body, as he says, had been pummeled. That being said, there is a 2nd century document known as the Acts of Paul and Thecla. In that document, you find this description. Paul was a man of small stature with a bald head and crooked legs, in a good state of body, with eyebrows meeting and nose somewhat hooked, full of friendliness, for now he appeared as a man, and now he had the face of an angel. It's that last bit, the face of an angel, that causes one to begin to wonder, is this a description of Paul's physical appearance, or is this a later depiction of Paul in some kind of idealized fashion? Now, when moderns or postmoderns begin to think of the ideal person according to looks, a hooked nose, a unibrow, bowed legs, short stature, doesn't call to mind the cover of GQ. But interestingly, a scholar called Abraham Malherbe has noted that this kind of depiction in the ancient world of a person is actually attractive. It's known as the study of physiognomy. So what you have here is an idealized view of Paul as a general, or Paul as a figure who is actually linked with aristocracy. So when the smoke clears and the dust settles, the Acts of Paul and Thecla tell us very little about how Paul looks, although he was made in this document to look ideal in that day, with the one possible exception. Ancients tended to describe their idealized figure with males with a lot of hair. And Paul here is depicted as being follically challenged, balding, or receding hairline. So as you look at the art of Paul, early icons all the way through, the one thing that is consistent is he had very little hair. One wonders if, in this way, Paul and I are a good bit alike.